Tonight on PM Express, a conversation about the increment in cocoa prices for this year's cocoa season. As a minority, describe the increase as government propaganda and demand at least 2,500 cedis per bag for farmers. Today, the minority has been touting what it describes as the NDC's superior records in the cocoa sector, whilst calling for the resignation of the cocoa board boss for reckless mismanagement leading to serious losses in the sector. Well, officials of Cocoa Board have been responding to this, describing the NDC stance as a figment of its own imagination. Well, I want us to do a blow-by-blow account of the records since 2016, when the NDC handed over till date. Then we can make some meaningful analysis or have a meaningful conversation. But this whole thing is premised on President Akufo-Addo's announcement this week that government has increased cocoa prices from 12,800 cedis per ton to 20,943 per ton, or 1,308 cedis per bag. That's the price is 70.5% of the gross FOB price, and it's equivalent to $1,821 per ton. This is the highest price to be paid to cocoa farmers across West Africa in some 50 years. This is where the controversy started. So this is something that we put out just by way of comparing the records since 2012. And if you look at it right there on your screen, you'll see that from between 2011 and 2012, you could tell that cocoa price per bag stood at 205 Ghana cedis. Then 2012, 2013, 212. 2013, 2014, it was just same. Then we came to 2014 to 2015. You could tell that between 2014 and 2015, it went up to 420, and then it came back to 345 in 2016. 2016, 2017, 475. 2017, 2018, it's been same up until 2019, 2020. Then it went up to 515. Now, look at 2020, 2021, 660. Same here, 2022. And then from 2023, 2024, it started rising. That's where you see 800 all up until 1,308. What has generated the controversy? But look at this trend. I found something very interesting here. Between 2013, 2014, you could tell that the figure stayed at 2.5%, 3.5%, 2012, 2013. But look at getting close to an election year. Boom, it shot to 62.7%. That's between 2014 2015. 62.7%, leading all the way to election year 2016. All right, look at how it's gone again. And so you could tell that within, if you do your own estimation, you could tell that averagely Mahama did about 22% average. Look at how the Akufo-Addo government also performed between 2016 to 2020. It's been up 21.7%, then it came to 8.4%, then 28.2% in 2020. Now look at, we're heading towards an election year again, and there you have it, 2023, 63.5%, boom, up there. Next year, 2024, is election year. So that's the trend that we've seen, that usually when it gets to election year, you see prices going up, and some say this is for purposes of winning votes. This is the comment from former President Mahama that generated these controversies. He said he believes in that the increase is unfair to farmers and their families. He highlights the record high international market price of $3,600. He claims government's offer is only 52.7% of the international FOB price. And he argues that cocoa farmers deserve better treatment. Well, there's a sharp rebuttal from the CEO of the Cocoa Board. Perhaps that's why the NDC is calling for his head. He said that The 2023-2024 cocoa crop was sold at international price between $2,200 and $2,400 per ton. I mean, contrary to what former president said, use of $3,600 per ton international price as the basis for calculation is wrong. And he says Ghana's cocoa beans are primarily sold forward, with most of Ghana's cocoa beans, most of them in 2023-2024 crops sold being between October 2022 and March 2023. And spot prices, he says, are not used to determine cocoa prices. Now today, the minority, they've been on this beat, and they are actually calling for the resignation of the CEO of Cocoa Board. This is the minority leader to Forcing. He says if the NDC were to be in government, the NDC would have a bag of cocoa at 2,500 and add a premium of 300 Ghana cedis. So you would have received 2,800 per bag if you were a cocoa farmer. And this is a response coming from the NDC. Richard Ahiangba is a director for communications for the NPP. He says government has not shortchanged farmers. The new price has been greeted with joy and excitement from all stakeholders. Farmers have been given the significant portion of the profits from cocoa export. That's the thrust of our conversation tonight. I'll be joined in the studio by of the Cocoa Board. I would also be joined by Dr. Godfrey Jasso. He is Deputy Ranking Member on the Food and Agri Committee of Parliament. I'd also be joined by Sami James, who is National Communications Officer of the NDC. Also on the bit is Richard Ahiangba, who is Communications Director of the NPP. And in the middle, I'll have Professor Irene Susanna Ejuri. She's Dean of School of Agriculture and also Associate Professor of Agri-Economy. She's with the University of Ghana, Legon. She'll be joining. All of them will be joining me for this conversation after this break.
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see S-I-N-T-E-X. Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
When it falls down, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey! Syntex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntex again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntex gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntex is the answer. Syntex tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint. As compared to other paint brands on the market, we take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Crazy pa. Don't say no to me. Risky. Wash. All of a sudden, my voice I hear different. And when you saw a call. Barman, bring me the honey whiskey. You know the one? Black Rock Whiskey.
Honey whiskey.
Chalet, honey near their frau. Black Rock Whiskey is strong. Now so taste me is smooth and it goes down easy. Excuse me.
Barman.
Barman, bring my friend one Black Rock Whiskey.
Black Rock Whiskey, blended with natural honey flavor.
Hey, what's up?
Barman.
Hey, what the hell for Sikanton Sada? They be up in Tomana no. Me de
Black Rock Whiskey. Cabby, the feel is smoothness, no.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 years of age and not recommended for pregnant women. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
There are days when you think, whoa, today I've earned it. So order a Glovo. Days when plans run longer. What if we order a Glovo? Or days when you can't control everything. Oh yes, because on Glovo, you can order anything you want. Glovo, you order, we deliver.
Can he tee up someone in red? And it goes to one!
You want to know?
I be the real goat. I'm the real goat. The left magician.
Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigerian Jollof?
Ghana Jollof has no co-equal. The smell alone. Oh my God.
No, that shift. You two they lie, eh? Now the same stew when they use cook the rice and then they go put them for top.
Chanta, you are lying. Ghana Jollof.
I knew this year. Forget everybody. Yeah, my guy. Put your papa in the jar. Put some respect on the goat. On the goat. The only goat I know lives in Tama. Every year we dey give to you back to back. We are talking about PET. I want some Yaji face. Except be the goat, huh? My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomo Bitters always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 or recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see SINTEX. Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
When it falls down, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey! Syntex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntex again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntex gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntex is the answer. Syntex tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Hello, my name is Abeku Agri Santana. If there's anything that makes my life so easy, it is my bank. I love hanging out with my boys at our usual fufu joint. But even without cash, we still dey chop better with EcoBank Mobile. No matter the time of day, my bank helps me stay in touch with my beautiful wife whenever she's away. And when my beautiful wife is in town, she never misses out on her favorite TV shows because I'm able to pay up all my TV subscriptions from the comfort of my mobile phone. Whenever she has to get groceries too, my bank makes it cashless and convenient. And the part my wife loves the most is when my bank makes it possible and easy for her to shop from any part of the world without moving.
Welcome to the smart world of EcoBank. Download EcoBank Mobile from Google Play Store or the App Store and discover the smart way to bank. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Welcome back to PM Express, and I've been joined in the studio by Fifi Boafo and Sami Jemfi. Good to have you, gentlemen.
Pleasure is mine.
And also joining us virtually is Professor Ejir, Dr. Jasso, and Richard Ahiangba. Grateful to have you, ladies and gentlemen, on Zoom. But let me first introduce my sponsors on this show. I would tell you about Cherry Tree Properties. They say we develop spaces, and though we were going to occupy them, ourselves. Syntex Tank, it is strong, it is tough. Alomo Bitters experience greatness in every moment. And Ghana Aids Commission. So when we talk Syntex Tank, talking no matter your water needs, Syntex Tank has it all. Syntex Tank is first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Syntex Tank is first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana. We now introduce to you the customer specs order, which lets you order any color and size of preference. Syntex Tank gives you the longest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you in Ghana. So whatever your water consumption, size of project or demand, choose Syntex Tank. We have agents nationwide. Call 0244-335-168 or shop online at syntexgh.com. Syntex Tank, air strong, air tough. Cherry Tree, desires are wishes. Beauty is a promise of happiness, but passion is everything. Thinking about buying a new home? Talk to those who build with passion. Sloan Square, a new gated community development at Sakumono, developed by Cherry Tree Properties, a one-of-a-kind, well-planned luxury you've never experienced. Contact us on 0553-662-366. Cherry Tree Properties, sophistication and class. Having said that, let me start with you, Sami Jemfi. I mean, you say that government has increased the price of a bag to 1,308, and you said it should have been 2,500. I mean, why?
Thank you very much. Good evening to my colleague panelists and our cherished viewers. This is a very simple matter. Cocoa is a commercial commodity which is traded on the international market. Every year, the cocoa season in Ghana is opened on the 1st of October and closed on the 31st of September of the subsequent year. Strangely, this year, government decided to open the cocoa season ahead of the usual, 1st October date. And so on the 9th of September at Tepa, the new cocoa season, that is the 2023-2024 cocoa season, was opened. And the president announced that the farm gate price per bag of cocoa will be 1,308. We are saying this is a ripoff, that cocoa farmers have been shortchanged once again by the Akufo-Addo NPP government. And we say so because if you check the average price of cocoa on the international market per ton, the price is hovering around $3,600. And that's at the time government opened this new cocoa season. The exchange rate was 11 cedis and 3 pesos. And so if you convert what government is getting, which is the gross FOB, into cedis, you get 39,708 Ghana cedis, almost 40,000 new Ghana cedis. And if you divide that by 16 to get the price per bag, because 16 bags of cocoa constitutes a ton, if you divide that, you get a unit cost of 2,418 Ghana cedis, almost 2,500. This is without premium. Last year we got premium of $344. This year the premium is around $497. If you use the same exchange rate, you get a CD equivalent of 5,500 cedis. If you divide that by 16, you get per bag 342 Ghana cedis. If you add the premium to the price per bag, based on this international FOB price, which is there for everybody to see, the price per bag goes up to about 2,800. So why is government giving the poor cocoa farmer 1,308 and retaining about 1,500? This is the simple arithmetic we've done based on the price of cocoa on the international market. And we are not just talking about the price for a specific period, we are talking about the average. Because currently the spot price is even above 3,800. And government comes in and says, through the CEO of Cocoa Board, that, hey, you're wrong. This cocoa you're talking about, cocoa for the 2023-2024 cocoa season, we sold it last year. In fact, I was on Asempa FM when he called into the show and said they sold the cocoa for 2023-2024 last year. So they used the international market price at the time, which was last year. And he mentioned 2,200, which eventually, with the price differential, went up to 2,600. I said, look here. President Mahama also did a post and said, this cannot be true. You've ripped off farmers. Then the same chief executive officer issues a statement. And this time around, he doesn't say that they have sold the entire cocoa for the 2023-2024 cocoa season last year. Now he says that they've sold parts. The part they've sold last year, he doesn't tell us. The part which is yet to be sold, he doesn't tell us. So this is what he says. He says that you are fully aware that Ghana, he's talking to President Mahama with disdain and contempt. He says you are fully aware that Ghana's cocoa beans is mostly sold forward. Mostly. Now he doesn't say it is sold forward, but mostly. Adjectives are coming in. This means that the 2023-2024 cocoa season was sold between October 2022 and March 2023 at international prices ranging between 2,200 per ton and 2,400. He goes on to say that for the 2023-2024 season, the weighted average FOB achieved by Cocoa Board was $2,600. So he says, we didn't get the 3,600 you're talking about. It's the average for August. No, we sold it ahead. We sold parts. Then he says, we got $2,600. And we said, let's use common sense here. Assuming, let's grant him that is right. If you sold it for $2,600 per ton, and you convert it with the interbank rate at the time you open this cocoa season, which is 11.03, my sister, you get a figure which is totally different from the figure they have announced. Because after he said this, he went on to say, if you check the last paragraph of his statement in response to President Mahama, the CEO said this: contrary to your assertion that the producer price of 1,308 per bag for the 2023-2024 season is paltry, the current producer price translates to 1,821 per ton, which is 70.03% of the gross FOB of 2,600. So if you got gross FOB of 2,600, and you're saying you gave the farmer 70.03, which is 1,821, my sister, if you convert that by the interbank rate at the time the cocoa season was open, 11.03, you will get the per ton price in cedis to be 20,080 pesos. 20,085. 20,085. If you divide 20,085 by 16 bags, you will get the per bag price to be 1,255. So how come the president announced a per bag price of 1,308? You see, it's very easy to detect lies. When a person is lying to you, the surest way to find out is when you see inconsistencies. You claim you gave the farmer 70.03 of an international FOB of 2,600. How come that price per the prevailing interbank rate at the time you open the season, is 1,255? Not just that. Last year, the international FOB price was again 2,600. That was the figure they submitted to Parliament for approval of the syndicated loan facility, 2,600. The exchange rate they used to calculate the price was 10 cedis. So the per ton price was 10 times 2,600, 26,000 cedis. They divided this by 16, and they got the per bag price of 1,625. And they gave the farmer 800 cedis, and they kept 825, more than what they gave the farmer. Let me just conclude this point, then we'll come in. So if this year, the per ton price is still 2,600, and the exchange rate has not changed significantly, how do you increase the price from from 800, the 800 you gave the farmer last year, to 2,308.
Okay,
when the international market price, according to you, is still 2,600.
So,
and the exchange rate has not increased or decreased significantly. This is the point we are making. They have ripped up cocoa farmers. What has happened is nothing but naked thievery. And let me tell you this, before you even believe any word from their mouth, know that these are the group of incompetent, reckless people who have mismanaged the affairs of Cocoa Board, such that for the first time in the history of Cocoa Board has incurred losses for 7 consecutive years. 395 million Ghana cedis losses in 2017, 78 million Ghana cedis losses in 2018, 320 million Ghana cedis losses in 2019, 426 million losses in 2020, and a whopping 2.4 billion loss of losses in 2021. They have no credibility, and they should not even have the temerity to honor invitations.
The figures has shown actually that the first term of the NDC, the first term of President Mahama was better than that of Akufo-Addo. But if you look at the second term, Akufo-Addo's performance
President
is
Mahama
better.
only had one term, so you can't compare Akufo-Addo's
of the NDC government. Well, Fifi Boafo, I'll come back to that, but let me allow Fifi Boafo to respond. Fifi Boafo, why is Cocoa Board or government actually earning more than the cocoa farmer?
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. And I'll plead with Sami that there's no point using abusive language when we are just discussing issues of national interest. I think we can do the discussion without the employment of.
Well, have I used? You are the hostess. No, Fee. Have I used any abusive word here? Can you tell me the abusive word I use?
It's okay. Let's have.
No, my sister.
Yes.
No. Have I used an abusive word?
That's fine.
That's just by the way. Let's just go.
He's made a categorical statement.
Okay.
Have I used an abusive word?
So going forward,
that
will guide us.
No, what is the word?
It's a guide. Let's go forward. It will guide us.
I have not done. You need to correct him that I have not used any.
He says there is no need using, so that should serve as a guide. So let's continue with that conversation.
I think the conversation generally has been based off lack of understanding, first of all, how the system operates.
Okay.
And secondly, basing it on assumptions that do not exist.
Okay.
I'll start with the interbank rate. I heard my friend Honorable Kopuku spend over 12 minutes going back and forth and trying to understand why the figures quoted by the chief executive does not correspond with an interbank rate or the interest rate used. The interest rate used is actually 11.5.
Exchange rate.
The exchange rate, is 11.5.
Okay.
And it is 11.5 which was provided by the Bank of Ghana. Bear in mind, it is not a one-off thing where the season is open today and all transactions are done today, and for that reason, you have to use the exchange rate for the day. So the exchange rate that was used was actually 11.5, and if you use 11.5, you get the actual figure that was quoted. So you do not have to bother yourself with all the mathematics and all the semantics that was done with it. And the truth is that if you read the president's speech, when the president was doing the announcement, he indeed said that the exchange rate used was 11.5.
Okay.
So it was surprising that they did not pay attention to the information that was out there, chose to set their own questions, and decided to proceed on that tangent. Whereas the information is available. All the newspapers that published the story actually made mention of the fact that the exchange rate used was 11.5.
Okay.
But it is important I set this up so that everybody who is listening, because yes, at this point in time, it turns into a political debate and people do not get the actual story or what really information is.
Okay.
Cocoa Board uses futures markets. We do forward sales. And the forward sales, there are 3 key reasons why we do forward sales. It actually started in 1992 when there was a transition from the Equafo check where Cocoa Board would go for syndication and then give licensed buying company monies to buy the cocoa. The first reason why Cocoa Board uses the forward sale as a means of selling cocoa. One is to get visibility and to be able to do a proper forecast going into the season. When Cocoa Board is starting the season, it gives a price that will be used for the purchase of cocoa the entire season.
Okay.
If you go to other countries, they will do the main crop season. The price will be different from the light crop season. In our case, it does not happen like that. What actually happened is that beginning of the season, we know how much money is coming in, and that is the basis of determining the price that is paid to the cocoa farmer. How do we know that? We know that because by the time you start the season, you have done about 80% of your crop already sold. So you know how much you are making going into the cocoa season, and for which reason you are able to say that, okay, then it is fair to give the farmer 1,308. So if someone tells you today that you should use a figure of today to determine the price, obviously the person is unaware or has been briefed wrongly, so the person doesn't know that by the time you start the season, majority of your crop is already sold.
Okay.
This, it actually starts October, and sometimes even the traders will tell you that when they have the permission, they actually do 15 months ahead, because when you go to the terminal, it gives you a space of 2 years, and you are able to sell within that 2-year period. So they start selling way back before you enter the season. But they say that no, you are actually supposed to start when the season has opened. When the season has already opened, how do you then sell and know how much you are getting to determine the price? The second reason why this forward sale is done is also to be able to get guarantee for the syndication. Because with the syndication, you actually use the contracts that you've been able to raise from selling the cocoa ahead. And that is the basis of selling. The process of syndication starts May, June. So if you are being told that you use August figures or you should have sold in August, when you are starting your syndication process in May, June, which contracts are you going to use? So if someone tells you it should have been the figures from August, clearly the person does not understand how the system works. Another reason why, and I heard my friend Honorable Ekopoku also say that you should have waited till August because that was going to offer you a better price. If you decide as a trader to keep your cocoa and sell all of them in August at the time you have opened your season, you are exposing yourself for the market to beat you to it. Because you will have all your quantity of cocoa at the time and decide to sell it at the same time, knowing very well that when you have that quantity of cocoa on the market, of course there will be saturation on the market and it will force the price down. So as a way of spreading risk, you have to sell within that period of, say, between 12 months or 15 months. So the market is unable to predict you. One of the things the market is always looking for is how much stock you have. And by determining the stocks you have, then they will be able to say that if, for example, Ghana has 700,000 metric tons, Cote d'Ivoire has 1.2 million metric tons, then there is a lot of stocks available, so it will force the price down.
So for this particular increase, what really went into it? The reason we are not getting the 2,500 that Sami and the NDC are talking about.
The 3,500, which the NDC is talking about, is based, like my brother here just said, on the price offered on the market in August.
Okay, so what's the difference? What's the difference between...
You could help. But
Fifi, what's the difference between the 800 and the 1,308? If it hasn't changed, the exchange rate hasn't changed significantly. What's the difference?
You see, I don't quite get the question, but then if you allow me, I will just explain, because what I'm trying to do with this...
You need to buy time, you know?
No, I don't have to buy time.
If you allow him to just wrap up on that point.
What I'm trying to do with this conversation is not the banter, but at least to explain the issues.
Because Fifi made the point that the exchange rate hasn't changed significantly. That's what, Sami, sorry, that's what I want you to clarify.
Yes, so from October, when Cocoa Board started selling, or CMC started selling, the price was around 2020. And indeed, when this thing started, I have gone to the trading room. The trading room is out of bounds. Not even staff of Cocoa Board are, the entire board are permitted to go to the trading room with the exception of the traders, unless it is critical. I have gone to the trading room and I've asked questions. Of course, their information is very delicate, so they do not divulge it. I'm not able to give details. But when they started selling, the price was around 2020. That was when they started selling. And they sold till the time where the producer price review committee, the committee tasked with the responsibility of determining the price, met. And they had to do an average. But there's one critical thing I want Sami to understand.
Okay.
They talk about the fact that the price at the market is 3,600. The 3,000
currently is even higher.
Yeah, but you see,
average.
the average you talked about is 3,600. What Sami should understand is that the figure you find on the market is actually cost, insurance, and freight.
Okay.
So if you use cost, insurance, and freight to do your calculation, clearly you are not addressing the facts, because the figure they talked about is 3,600, and that is what they say is on the market, and that is cost, insurance, and freight. What thing more I want Sami to understand is also the fact that it is not every cocoa you sell that you get the market, the figure quoted on the market.
Okay.
Because apart from the main crop beans, if you not get the size, what happens is that the cocoa is discounted. And the discount is actually between 20 to 40%. So there's a percentage of the cocoa that is discounted. But they do not take into consideration the fact that the cocoa was sold from last year, October, to date. They actually use a figure from August to form the basis of this discussion. And then come to the conclusion, without taking into consideration the fact that there's part of it that is freight, there's part of it that is for shipments, and they lump it together for their analysis. Another important thing which Sami talked about, I
think I have to come in. Maybe when we come back, let it be a dialogue. Let it be a dialogue, not a monologue.
Sami,
I got a point about the dialogue.
to the issues that you raised.
No, it's not.
So wrap up on that point.
You talked about
let him wrap up for me.
Am I going to get the same time?
Let him wrap up for me. I'll give you the time, Sami, to make your point.
Hey,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Sami talked about premium.
Yes.
That we had 490. What was the figure you used? 490 something this year.
497.
And they actually talked about another premium they said we got last year. Sami, that is inaccurate.
Okay.
It is inaccurate because maybe when you do, I know you do a lot of search, do a search. You would even realize that this year there was a meeting at Kempinski where all international buyers were in Accra.
Okay.
The reason for that meeting was because coming from COVID, there was oversupply on the market. Buyers decided that they were no more going to not only pay premium, but rather they were actually discounting premium to the negative. So the 350 you were talking about, it was actually to the negatives. Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana then took a position that henceforth we're not going to sell in the negatives. So the premium, apart from not just paying the premium, you are discounting into the negatives. So it is not something that is paid to you. It's actually a deduction in how much you are getting from the market and your LID.
All right, so I think Sami has made that point clear, Fifi.
Actually, let's set the record straight. My brother spoke about the fact that the arguments we are making reflects a certain lack of understanding on our part.
Okay.
I want him to understand that we have full understanding of the subject we are discussing. That is why under us, in 2014, we managed cocoa board so well that we made profit of 329 million cedis under the leadership of John Mahama.
Okay.
And in 2015, we made profit of another 152 million cedis.
Okay.
He cannot boast. He and the management he's a part of cannot boast of making profits for the entire 7 years they have been at the helm of affairs.
He's asking a question. What happened?
I didn't help you one, so allow me to make it.
Okay, go ahead.
You cannot be talking about lack of understanding when you have not even made profit of 1 cedi during your 7-year tenure at Cocoa Board. In other serious jurisdictions, you would have been signing your resignation letters by now. That's just by the way. First of all, I want everybody watching me, if you have a calculator on your phone, pick it. I want to expose you. I want to let you understand that my brother, my good brother Fifi here, the CEO of Cocoa Board, President Akufo-Addo Alhaji Bawumia, and the entire NPP are very deceitful. My brother here says that for this 2023-2024 cocoa season, the international FOB price they got per ton on the market is $2,600, correct?
That's correct.
And you're saying that the exchange rate you used was 11.5 and that the president even announced it at TEPA, correct?
That's correct. Clarify that.
Multiply, if you're watching me, take a calculator. Multiply 11.5 by 2,600. This is Joy News. You will get 29,900 Ghana cedis per ton.
Okay.
16 bags make a ton, correct? You have understanding. We lack understanding. If I'm lying, tell me. So divide this 29,900 cedis, which is Fifi's figure, by 16. What do you get? The per bag price is 1,317.5. You can round it up to 1,318. 10 Ghana cedis difference from the 1,308 President Akufo-Addo announced. How can you say that you use an international FOB of $2,600 and an exchange rate of 11.5, and yet the price we get when we use our Makola calculator is different from the price you have announced? This is what is called voodoo mathematics, because you are deceiving the farmer. Secondly, he says that cocoa sometimes is sold even before the cocoa season is opened. Nobody's disputing that. But you are here. I'm sure you are an assistant to the CEO or you are in the corporate affairs department.
He's the public affairs
manager. Beautiful. Tell us, because your CEO said on Asempa that you sold the entire cocoa for 2023-2024.
You asked the question.
Last year. No, please, let me finish.
Okay, so
I wanted to help you.
You spoke for 10 minutes.
He used the
we don't have the luxury of
consideration the fact
so
that
let's manage
there's a
the time
percentage
we have
that goes
well.
to the farmer,
No.
and there's the percentage.
No, that's what we are talking about here. No, you are saying
there's a percentage because there's a percentage of it. Because if you use 2,600 and say that you are dividing it by 16, and for which reason the farmer is supposed to get X, don't forget that there's a percentage of it that is paid to the farmer, but not the entire 2,600 that is paid to the farmer.
Let me take that again, so that he doesn't obfuscate the issues and get away with the falsehood.
Okay, make that quick.
Respectful. He says that the international FOB per ton is 2,600. And President Akufo-Addo, who you are referencing, says that you gave the farmer 70.5%. Your boss, the CEO, says you gave the farmer 70.03. I can see that you like President Akufo-Addo because you've been referencing him. So let's use President Akufo-Addo's 70.5%. 70.5% of 2,600 is 1,833, which is what President Akufo-Addo says he gave the farmer, $1,833. If you convert $1,833 to cedis and multiply it by the exchange rate you claim the president announced, which is 11.5, I am saying to you that you get 29,900. And if you divide that by 16, you are going to get 9.5. If you round it up 10 cedis difference between, you get 1,317.5. You won't get 1,308.
So the cocoa farmers have been shortchanged.
So I'm trying to tell you that they are doing voodoo mathematics to justify the rip-off they've meted out on.
Let me take a break on PM Express.
I was on the second point.
When I return, I have to take my break. When I return from this break, we'll be going more into the issue. I'll be speaking with Richard Nyagba, who is also a communications director of the NPP. They've been responding to what the NDC has been saying about government in terms of the cocoa pricing. I'll also be picking the thoughts of Professor Ejiri, who is an associate professor of agric economy, and she'll be telling us what she thinks about this pricing. Dr. Jasso is deputy ranking member on the Agric Committee of Parliament. They started all of this. He'll be telling us why they're asking for the resignation of the CEO of Cocoa. But stay with me, I'm coming right back.
About 1/3 of a million people live with HIV in Ghana. Close to 10,000 of them die each year, mostly as a result of a lack of antiretroviral drugs and adherence. In fact, close to 57% of children under 14 years living with HIV do not receive antiretroviral drugs, again as a result of inadequate funds to provide them with medication.
Life expectancy for these children is grim. The big worry: close to 16,300 people are newly infected with HIV each year. With this alarming rate of HIV infections, all of us are in danger, and Ghana is headed for an epidemic explosion if nothing is done now to avert it. While the Ghana AIDS Commission is working hard to overturn the situation, the Commission urgently needs funding support from corporate Ghana and individuals to save lives. We're therefore appealing to you, corporate entities and individuals, to support the National HIV and AIDS Fund by dialing star 9898 hash on MTN and Vodafone and follow the prompts, or pay into the National HIV and AIDS Fund account number 101-863-161-3233, Bank of Ghana. Your donation will be used to prevent new infections and provide care for people living with HIV, including children affected by AIDS. For further information, please call Ghana AIDS Commission on 0302 919260 or email info@ghanaids.gov.gh. Give to save a life today. Ghana AIDS Commission, partnering to eliminate HIV and AIDS.
The new football season is here, and it's best seen on HD Plus in 5 times crystal clear images. See the new signings, jerseys, silky skills, and great goals. Touch the DFB Pokal, J1 League, and the Argentina Copa de la Liga Profesional on Score HD channel 151. The best of African football on JTV Sports Plus channel 150. World football is best seen Philly on HD Plus. Grab a decoder and subscribe for 3 months at 85 Ghana cedis per HD Plus. See it feel.
Welcome back to PM Express, and we're still having the conversation about cocoa farmers. In fact, when we're on break, we're still having this discussion here. But let me give the opportunity to my guests on Zoom so that I'll come back to you in the studio. Briefly, let me bring in Dr. Jasso. Dr. Jasso, you are asking that the CEO resigns, and you say it's because of reckless mismanagement. How do you justify this? Is it because he corrected former President Mahama for what he says were wrong submissions? Hello, Dr. Jasso.
He will not do that. The man has so much respect.
All right, so I think we should check the internet and then get Dr. Jasso back. Probably there's a problem with connection. But let me bring in Professor Ejiri. Prof, from where you sit, is this increase enough for the cocoa farmer? 1,308. The NDC says it should have been 2,500. I know you do a lot of research in this area. What do you think? Is this enough for the cocoa farmer? Hello, Prof. I think there's a bit of a challenge. Are you praying that they said it? Rosa, let's try and get them back on Zoom, and then we can have the conversation. I know Richard Ahiagba is on the phone. I'll get back to Richard Ahiagba.
If you want to talk to Richard Ahiagba, you don't want us to discuss. No, please, I was on the floor. Please.
Okay,
I was on the floor.
Let
me finish. I was on the floor. Just be fair to your brother.
No. This is what I'll do. Maybe this is what I'll do. Let me give Same 1 minute Fifi, Sammy, just take 1 minute to wrap up the point you were making before I went to and then I'll come to you.
I am making. No, please.
You let me give him 1 minute to wrap up.
He knows I will be exposing him, so he doesn't want me to speak.
Oh, definitely, he will get the opportunity to respond.
Can you just respect
I'm only drawing your attention to the fact that which of the NDC figures are you referring to?
Well, they said 2,500 plus another 300, which will make it 2,800.
So I don't know which of them are which of them.
Okay, so Sami is here. He will clear it.
So Sami, which of the two are you referring to?
Let me make it. The point here is this. I got messages that some people didn't get the calculation.
Okay.
Fifi says President Akufo-Addo and the CEO of Kokobo say that they got an international FOB price of $2,600 per ton.
Okay.
And he says that the exchange rate they use in, fixing the farm gate price per bag, which farm gate price is 1,308 cedis. The exchange rate they use is 11 cedis 50 pesos. Meaning that if we do the arithmetics, it must give us an outcome, a per bag price of 1,308, which is what they have announced.
Okay.
So let's do the arithmetics. If you multiply 11 cedis 50 pesos by 2,600, you will get 29,900. Then President Akufo-Addo says, I didn't give all this 29,900 to the farmer. I gave the farmer 70.5. Forget about the fact that the CEO of Kokobo says he gave them 70.3.
Okay.
But let's use the 70.5. He's the president. 70.5% of 29,900 is 21,079 cedis.5 per ton in cedis. That is what he gave the farmer per ton, 21,079.5 according to Fifi. So if you divide this figure by 16, you must get the per bag price Akufo-Addo announced at Tepa, which is 1,308. But you don't get it. You get 1,317 because they are lying. Number two, he says that they do forward sales and that the cocoa for 2023-2024 cocoa season was sold, part of it, Fifi uses the word majority, sold between October 2022 and March 2023.
Okay.
I am challenging him here. He's in charge of public relations. He should tell us that majority. Was it 60% they sold? Was it 70% they sold? Because it is majorities, it's not all.
So and Fifi can give us that.
Obviously, the remainder will be sold at the prevailing price of 3,600.
Okay, Fifi, can
and I want to put it on record here that it is a blatant falsehood for anybody to tell you that Cocoa Board does not sell cocoa based on international spot prices. They can start negotiations in the previous year. They can even sell part of the cocoa they are anticipating in the previous year. But they will obviously sell part of that cocoa based on the international spot price, which is currently $3,800.
Okay.
So he should tell us, because he claims that they only sold parts between October and March. You understand? So the remainder, how much is it?
Okay.
What they have sold, how much is it? Let him tell the viewers.
Tell us how much is it?
And let's do the
we're running out of time, so please wrap it, summarize it for me.
I made mention of the
so
fact
that we'll be within time.
Traders will not give me permission to give every detail of sales. I mean,
why not?
Cocoa prices.
Why not?
Which is a matter of
your face. Would you kind?
Why not?
What are you talking about?
Fifi, why not?
If you go for a syndicated loan right now, you will go with all these figures.
Why not, Fifi? Sami, allow Fifi to make his point.
What is this?
Fifi, go ahead.
He can't tell us the percentage of cocoa they've sold.
Sami, let Fifi make his point.
This is scandalous.
Fifi, why not?
The antics is not helping.
No, you need
why not?
You need to do breaking news right now.
The antics is not helping.
You can't tell us the percentage.
The reason why
Sami, allow him to make the point.
I am not going into the details of it. Yes. If you, for example, come and sit on radio and tell the whole public, Cocoa Board stock is 800. We have sold 750.
We know that
and
already.
It is left with 50. The person who is doing trading is obviously giving too much information such that it affects your ability to be able to use the management of stocks as a part of a trading tool.
Because
so if you do not understand how
the
these
trading
things
is done
work,
openly.
then
This is not
who tells you that
the trading of cocoa is not done within a course?
No trader will tell you how much stock he has available. No trader.
But you have already told us that you are projecting 800,000 metric tons.
That is for the next season.
No, this season, 2023, 2024.
And that's what I'm saying.
800,000. That is not a secret. And you are saying you have sold parts between October 2022 and March 2023. You can't tell us the part you have sold.
Projecting.
What part did you? What portion did you sell?
830,000. Okay. I will not come and sit on radio and tell you that out of the 830,000. We have sold
because
700,000.
If that will clear the air, Fifi, why not? If that will clear the air, why not?
No, but that information is a matter of public interest.
What you do not
if they go to Parliament today for a syndicated loan, they will go with all the agreements. He said it in his
parliamentarians are people who have signed oath of
any document which goes to Parliament is a public record. What are you talking about? It will go into the hands of
Parliament television.
Everything that goes to Parliament.
It's Parliament radio.
When you go to Parliament for a syndicated loan, is it held in camera? It is a public hearing.
Because this is in the public.
Who says
scandalous?
Why not? Why don't you share with the public so you can clear the air?
He says he can give it to Parliament in parliamentarians in Parliament, but he can't say it on Joy News. Why? Parliamentary proceedings are they not televised?
Yes, Fifi.
When they go to Parliament for syndicated loans,
and the session head in camera,
the antics can stop. And then I will answer the question.
Okay, go ahead and answer something. We are running out of time.
That's fine.
What I'm saying, and I will repeat
that we have.
For the person who do not understand trading, will tell you that come and tell us that this is the stocks I have, this is what I've sold, and this is what is remaining.
Yeah.
But the person
we
who
don't understand trading.
The person
you have just said that if you go to Parliament
will not tell you
syndicated loan, you will tell parliamentarians how much you have sold. But if you don't tell parliamentarians how much you have sold, how can you rate?
Let me give Richard Ahiangba the opportunity. Richard, why are you saying that government has done something extraordinary? Because the NDC says that the NPP has not done anything extraordinary when it comes to the cocoa sector.
Well, Aisha, thank you very much. And good evening to your listeners. I think the NDC is taking Ghanaians for a ride. And
what does Richard know about?
Well, Sami, look, very sharp tongue, just creating a mess. Look, Sami knows that it's not proper for Fifi to be announcing that information he's eliciting on air. And Sami knows that if he were in Fifi's position, he won't just come and be discussing such proprietary material on air. It will be irresponsible to do that. And I'm happy Fifi is not going to disclose that. In fact, the idea that parliamentary proceedings are telecast doesn't mean that everything is said in the open. So please, let's exercise appropriate restraint. Look, you should ask me, what is the highest they have paid the cocoa farmers in terms of producer price per ton? How much have they paid? The highest they paid. They have sold cocoa, or they have achieved $2,950,000. Okay, $2,950 per metric ton, and the highest they paid cocoa farmers was $1,800. We have achieved $2,600, and we're paying $1,221. And somebody is sitting in the studio doing some strange calculations, saying that there's a $10 difference or 10 cedi difference. That's what Sami is talking about. Look, I think Fifi is in the studio, so the technical issues to do with that and all the voodoo calculations they were doing in Ahako,
There's some parliamentary proceedings and practices.
I think we lost Richard Ahiagba, but I think the point has been made.
No.
We need to wrap up, gentlemen. I have 1 minute to wrap up.
Give me 30 seconds. Give him 30 seconds.
Yes, I'm giving 30 seconds to each of you to wrap up.
Let me do the 30
seconds. The time is ticking, Sammy.
If they were to go to Parliament for a syndicated loan, they would have told parliamentarians the percentage of the cocoa for 2023-2024 cocoa season that they have sold. But they can't say it now because it is confidential.
Okay.
This man is a walking contradiction.
All right.
Because whatever you tell parliamentarians is public information.
Okay.
They can be accessed through the Library of Parliament.
You've made
the
your point.
Department.
It
is even televised nowadays.
Okay.
So there is nothing secret about that information.
Why can't you make that public?
Because they are deceiving the cocoa farmers.
Are you deceiving the cocoa farmers?
At spot prices, and they are lying that they sold the cocoa last year.
No cocoa trader will come and tell you.
Are you a cocoa trader?
Available. I speak for the board that sells cocoa. No cocoa
which has run losses for 7 consecutive years.
Stocks and available. When we go to Parliament, we do not go and tell Parliament stocks available. When you go to appear before the
you tell Parliament what you have sold.
As you've been
what you have sold. You will tell Parliament what you have sold.
It's still not necessary for you
to tell Parliament what you have sold.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
What are you talking about?
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Please enjoy the rest of our programs.